Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing the last in my series of the Coravin tests. If my viewers and subscribers know, I have done 3 previous videos on the Coravin system. We tasted the wines initially, then at 3 months and then at 6 months. And basically the results were that I felt that the Coravin system was doing its job. It was keeping the wines fresh. And I kind of forgot about it until recently a subscriber kind of mentioned, hey, what happened to the follow-up video? Because I said I was going to do a video at about the 1 year mark, but I forgot to. So that was a while back. And now these wines have been Coravin for almost 18 months now. So it's gonna be a really interesting experience to see what happens with these wines and how they're tasting after 18 months. The first wine we're going to look at, and I'm going to give a little more information out, is from Domaine Masderet, which is a Provence winery. I have done previous videos on this winery and some of their other wines. This is called their Le Secret de Cornille. This is their 2020, and I believe this is 100% Chardonnay. And so again, we tasted it, I opened this at the 3-month mark. When the other red wines had already been aged 3 months. I started in my second video to add this, and then we tasted again at the 6-month mark. So it was aged 3 months in with the Coravin, and there didn't seem to be much degradation in my opinion. So let's kind of look through this wine at this point and actually go through the tasting notes of this wine. So to me, it smells fresh. So I would say I think it's about a year now, and I think the Coravin has done its job. I will note that it's because it's the latest bottle I opened, that not very much is come off the top of this wine, so there's not a lot of oxygen that could have gone into this wine anyways. And so I think that's one of the factors that I will kind of talk about at the end, that I think it works better. The Coravin works better with a higher fill. And I guess progressively, when more air potentially get into the bottle, at some point it's not going to work as well. But anyways, this smells very fresh to me. It smells like Chardonnay. I don't even know the grape varietal for this, but I think it's Chardonnay. It does smell a little bit like it's got a little bit of toastiness on it. And I might look terrible with this, but I think it does have some oak on this. And yeah, melons, butter, that's what I get out of this. Really nice tropical fruits on the smell. On the taste, I think it's drier than what I thought it would be. More like, yeah, melons, which comes through a lot in this wine. Not as acidic as I think I would have expected. It's medium acidity. It's got fairly decent body to this, but I think it's a nice summer sipper actually from the Provence region, and it's from the Camargue region in Provence. But I like this wine, and it tastes fresh to me. I'm going to give it 87 points. The next wine we're going to taste is the Butterfield 2011 Pommard. And I enjoyed this wine. I think I reviewed it a little bit more in my last video. So this one, and you can see in the previous video, I did have a stopper on this. I did open it a little bit earlier today. And kind of my impression is that this smells a little bit more aged. Not like a fresh bottle, but more showing its age of 2011. More like it has been already opened, but not a huge amount of degradation. And again, you have to note there's about in this a little bit, about maybe a quarter to a third of the wine left in this. So maybe that also has a factor in it. On the taste, it's fine. It's not like bad, but it does feel a little bit aged, more like it's been aired out a little bit. Not as fresh as I recall when I first tasted it, but it's fine. And it's almost, you could say almost more preferable now, because it's almost like it's been decanted or something like that. So I think it still keeps its integrity. The last wine we have is the Chateau Larocque 2015. And so again, this has been now the Coravin for almost like 18 months. And when I just took out the cork from the bottle, it still smelled very aromatic. So let's try it right now. Again, I think, just if my memory serves me right, that there is a bit of age now on this wine. It's not as fresh as, let's say I had it 6 months, when it was 6 months in Coravin. But again, I'll note it's about half the bottles left. It does smell, it doesn't smell tired, but it does smell a little bit aged. Yeah, I would say that this would now be equivalent to probably having the wine out a little bit. So I can taste the difference right now with this wine as compared to, you know, when I first opened the bottle or Coravin did 18 months ago. That's my summary of these wines. First of all, I think Coravin works. I think it works quite well for bottles that are full, and I think it keeps generally quite well for at least 6 months, no problem. Probably a bit longer. That also depends on, I think, a number of things. One is the age of the wine itself. Two is the grape varietal. So I think it would do a little bit better with Cabernet Sauvignon than, let's say, Pinot Noir, but it looks like it did quite well with the white wine. But lastly, I think most important is the fill of the bottle. And that's, to me, the most important thing. I think if it's just you're Coravinning and taking a couple of glasses out of it, I think you're fine. I think it probably can keep about a year or more. But I think once you take about more than half the bottle, it does start to degrade a bit. And I think that's just from time. There is some leakage, probably from the actual cork. And so I think that probably, you can't expect the Coravin to, you know, age it for 2 years and things like that and still be fresh. But in general, I think it does its job. I would caution against doing this for older bottles. And the only reason is because I think with older bottles, the cork is not going to be as nice as like a new bottle. The cork is very still elastic and will bounce back. So part of this idea is that, you know, when the needle goes into the cork, you know, cork, if you put it upright, it will probably just fill in that gap. Well, with the older cork, it's not going to do that. It's not going to be as elastic. And so the only difference would be if, let's say, it was an old wine and it was just bottled at the chateau, or rebottled, that's different. But with old corks, I don't think I would do that because, again, that old cork wouldn't have the elasticity. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed this kind of test over time, and I'm glad a subscriber did remind me that I still have bottles that I had Coravinned almost 18 months ago. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy drinking.